Why? Now, this is not my bag. But why? Now, you see, there is no key. There is no shortcut to anything, but there is a great big pattern over 7 years. Mustn't look self-pitying. What's £5, hey? What actually happened? Here. Oh, there it is. Free entry. Free entry. Now, I lived in a region for many years. I only think of regions. Kids at homespun parents without much money would, every few months, take their kids to the Sydney Nolan Trust. Why would they take their kids there? It's only a small gallery, and it had some barns that, of course, had been yuppie converted into art spaces that were hardly used. That matters. Only if you're in the in clique, really, would you be allowed to use them. But this lot had a change of management in about 2018-19, and I met their new manager walking down the street of Prestine. And they're all the same, these people. They literally will quote you lines from The Clash and this kind of nonsense and bad culture. They make out that they're the worthiest new people ever. And what did they do? For years that had been free. They put on an entry fee. Oh, we've got to do this for the sake of the community. Really. Now, I knew parents who would take their 2 or 3 kids. Parents living in Kington, which is a very poor little, probably one of the poorest little communities, a town of 1,500 people in the whole region. They would take their kids for an hour or two, because there was some kind of quite interesting things there. It's only a small place. And they had a huge grant to, I've got photographs, to build expensive toilets. Now, what did they do with that grant money? Actually, they just used it. It's like the grant was going to expire, so they used it. I should imagine it cost £10,000 or £20,000. But at the same time, they put the £5 entry fee in. And I have a recording speaking with a local mother and father, I think, and one of her kids, a wonderful 11, 12-year-old, who I kind of knew vaguely. He would talk to me on the street. And when they put in their £5, that family couldn't afford to go there anymore. And here's the point. It's these... I saw them gradually arrive over 20 years, all of them, like, we are the real community leaders of the future, all from fucking London or Bath or somewhere like that. They didn't like the amount of drugs and madness there anymore, so they came to the countryside making out that they were going to... It's not this thing of we're going to change things that the locals object to. No. They literally come in and they colonise. They're colonisers of what was a perfectly good space, just ticking over for free, that local parents could take their kids to, where they don't have to spend any money, and they may buy a postcard or they may buy something small. No. These worthies, and they're all the same. Just Pastyland is literally full of them. It's like, no, we're doing service in the community. We're bringing our newness. And yet if you actually stopped them and said, I don't think really this is going to be popular in the area. I know lots of quite a few parents who are, not well off, who haven't arrived like you have with, 100 grand of inherited or whatever, or a payoff from some county council having worked in the human resources department for 10 years and you managed to screw them for a false dismissal lawsuit or something, which is how they can all afford what they do to recreate themselves as the new saviours, the new saviour class. But when you actually converse with them, listen, we're kind of in the middle of nowhere here. Yes, you have a few elite rich people who come and see this place, but this is a good little space. There are so few spaces. There's so little art for young ordinary parents in the area who may, like me, have arrived a decade ago, 20 years ago, with no money and rent. Their kids are enjoying that space, are using it. It's civilizing them. They can't listen, and their eyes, they develop the messianic swivel eye of like, oh no, we're bringing in new energy and whatever. No, you're not. You're just fucking extracting more money out of the community to pay for your new bloody iPad. That's actually what happened. There we go. Oh, but there's something else in that.